What's up? It's Charlie from 4BZ Truth. Here's the deal. We over in Idaho are deciding to go back to phase three or stage three for the new wave that's coming for CV-19. And, the fact that it's called a wave suggests that it's just going to keep, the nature of waves when you're at the beach. Waves don't slow down. They just keep coming, crash, and then they go back, and then they come back again. They go back, and they come back again. And that's just the nature of waves. And then they also use the terminology, the new normal. So they've been pounding that into my head in the media and at my work all the time. And I swear that my work is involved in the propaganda. And of course, mandatory face masks. And they said that they're not going to take away the mandatory face masks until they freaking have the vaccine. So what does that suggest? Well, to me, it suggests that if you don't get the vaccine, then you're either going to lose your job or they're going to continue to have mandatory face masks, one of the two. I kind of get the feeling that it's the mandatory vaccine next. So I feel like I need to make preparations for, you know, having to find a job situation. I mean, to be honest with you, if there is a vaccine that comes out, I believe that there's going to be some extreme measures that come from the government that if you don't, get the vaccine, they'll say, oh, it's not mandatory, but you're choosing your fate if you don't. That's ultimately what they're saying. And here's the other thing, just to kind of touch on the last live stream I did with Jessica. Now, here's the thing. I don't want anybody to think that I don't care about black people or I'm not interested in, making anybody feel special. But, the nature of children, if they throw a temper tantrum, they never get what they want when they start kicking and flailing. I've been, and I've heard a lot of justification for the violence and the extreme measures that are coming from the BLM movement, that are basically saying because white folk are not listening to them, that they're trying to get our attention by being violent and things like that. They're like saying, well, we've tried peaceful protesting, so now we have to take it to the next level. I'll tell you what, for the sake of Jessica, I've been trying to look into this and trying to keep an open mind. But everything I'm running across, I can't only disagree with, but I feel like I need to rise up against it, because the thing about everything they're trying to do is justifying violence. They're justifying division. They're justifying things like just causing to be honest with you, this is my perception, they're causing other races to want to lay prostrate or be inferior to them. And, I don't feel that any race is inferior to another race. I feel like we're all equal under the eyes of God, and we are all created in His image. Now, granted, we have different skin tone or whatever, but I'm not going to try to ever justify, the radical racism that comes from races, or, like white extreme racist or black extreme racist. I'll never justify it. I don't think anybody should try to elevate their race and make it sound like, oh, because I'm white, I'm going to go ahead and, make myself seem more important, because obviously, black people and all the other colors are less than me. I've never thought that in my whole life. And, As I continue to look into this more, I can't get on board. I'm sorry. I'm on board with black people. I'm on board with Mexican people. I'm on board with Native Americans. I'm on board with uh, freaking like I tried to point out with this thing about small lives matters. You know, the aborted babies. I think I heard some sort of figures like 65 million aborted babies a year or something in United States. I don't know if that's an exact number, but I swear to you, if it's even in the millions at all, I think that that is extreme, like much more extreme than what's happening as far as the oppression that people might have. This is total and utter oppression. Because I've seen another statistic that actually says that something like over 90% of the reasons for why women get abortions is because of inconvenience. Like they don't feel like it's convenient for their life to have a baby. So if that's true, it's not about parental rights or right, health or women's health. I don't. And again, maybe I'm not qualified because I'm a guy. It's like the same kind of thing. It's like I'm not qualified to speak on BLM because I'm white. It's such a superficial perspective. I can't help but look at all this logically and realize that this is our world is being turned inside out. Good will be made evil and evil will be made good. You know, Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. What to say nation will rise against nation is nationalities will rise against nationalities. So it's obvious that's what's happening. And, I believe it's a freaking distraction from what is really happening. And that is our rights are actually not only being taken away, but they're given to those who are radical extremist, terrorist, if you want to look at it that way. They're terrorizing people. I just saw a video where there was like, um, people. Hi, bud. There's people just driving their cars and then they're stopped in the street and then pulled out of their car and like beaten and stuff because they don't accept the BLM movement. So, do I relate that to the skin color? Absolutely not. I relate it to ideology or the content of the heart. People have allowed their identity and their freaking bitterness to manifest into violence. And I've learned about relationships that if you allow bitterness to manifest in your heart, that is a sickness. And it doesn't matter what the other person did at that point. It's a matter of what is in your heart. So, anyways, if anybody has any thoughts on this, honestly, it's hard for me to get off this topic, but I'm almost ready to move on. I don't want to think about it anymore. It's just a huge distraction and it's a division. I don't want to be divided over this issue. Um, I believe that instead of focusing on the bad, I want to focus on the good. So, and I believe that the good is that we are going to be transformed if we're focused on uh, doing the will of God. And I don't know. Tell me what you guys think, and we can dialogue a little bit about it. But that's basically where I'm at. So I will talk to you guys later. All right. Give me a like and a subscribe and ring the bell, of course. All right. Thanks. Bye.